Hanukkah. Freddie B here with Freddie Bz Pathetic picks for NFL Week 14. I had a terrible week last week. Week 13, not a good week for me. I only went 6-7. That's the first losing week I've had all year. But I did come up with some great actual picks, though, because I did pick the 49ers over the Eagles, which was an interesting game. And boy, did the Dolphins, which I'm not biased against at all, did they just put a hurting on the Redskins, which is great. Redskins are off this week, as are the Cardinals, and they both need to be off. They are combined 7 wins, 19 losses, and their seasons. If I have a list, and I'm going to get a suck list, they would definitely be on it, both of them, because it's a shame, but those teams, their season's over. So they're playing for draft picks now. So 6-7, week 14. Boy, if you are 6-6 right now, most everybody's had a bye except the Redskins and the Cardinals. So 6-6. If you look at your schedule, you still got a shot, maybe, but you better start playing some football. I'm going to say you are a mediocre team trying to get out of the cellar. If you are less than 6-6, then you are probably heading toward the suck list, quite frankly. But let's start this off on Thursday night, Hanukkah night, first night of Hanukkah. We got the Patriots and the Steelers. The Patriots are 2-10 against the Steelers. This is going to be one of the most boring games of the year because the Steelers are just going to walk over the Patriots. The Patriots, they're the second worst team in the NFL. So I'm going to give you some alternative programming, perhaps, that you might like. So on the Hallmark channel, you could start off on one of the channels with at 6 o'clock with Christmas with a Kiss, followed at 8 with a very bridesmaid Christmas. Now that's on the Hallmark channel. But if you want the Hallmark Mysteries and More, I'm just saying, at 6 you got the Small Town Christmas, and then at 8, To All a Good Night. So, if you watch those two movies, or whatever, any one of those combination of movies, you will probably have a better time than watching the Patriots just get eaten up by the Steelers on the Sunday. All right, so Sunday, the Buccaneers at 5-7 against the Falcons at 6-6. This is a divisional race. I said the Buccaneers are kind of on the suck list because they're 5-7. They better win this game. They've got to win this game so they can pull even with the Falcons. The Falcons are 6-6. They're leading the division. The Buccaneers have got to do something. So I'm going to say in an upset, and I hate to say this, guys, because I picked Baker Mayfield, who's proving to be a pretty mediocre quarterback, the Buccaneers are going to beat the Falcons. So we got that on Sunday. Then we get the Rams at the Ravens at 6-6. Again, mediocre team. Against the Ravens, 9-3. They're at the Ravens. They're at Baltimore. As long as nobody stabs anybody with somebody's shoes, I think the Ravens win this game. Then we go to the next snoozer, which is the Lions of Detroit, which are going to go far in the playoffs against the Bears. And the Bears are not having a good year. They are 4-8. The Lions are definite. This is a huge turnaround from, say, 2 years ago when the Lions were just terrible and the Bears are mediocre. So the Bears are 4-8. I don't think they're going to win this one, even though they are playing in Chicago. The only thing you can hope for here is maybe a nice snowy day at Soldier Field. I'm not allowed to drink Coke anymore because I'm not woke enough. So I switched to RC. Really good. Yes. Brought to you by RC Cola. Okay. So now we go on to another game that is mediocrity at its best, if this is important to you. We got the 7-5 Colts against the 6-6 Bengals. Now, the Bengals have lost Joe Burrow, which means they lost any momentum they had, which is a shame. So the Colts are going in at 7-5. They're probably the better team. And without Joe Burrow, although I will say that it was a pretty damn good game on Monday night, the Bengals and Jags. It was a great game. It was a fun game if you like field goals. But both teams really took it to each other, and I've got to give them credit for that. But a Burrow-less Bengals team is going to lose, and I'm going to give it to the Colts there. Speaking of the Jags, the 8-4 Jags are going to go visit the Cleveland Browns. So, Scott, for you, I'm picking the Browns. Why? It's a toss-up game. Browns are at home. Jags lost Trevor Lawrence. So, he's questionable as to whether he's going to play. If he does play, he's going to be very tentative on that ankle. So, he's not going to have the mobility that you would think. And the Browns are doing pretty good. They're hanging in there. They're going to be all right. It's a toss-up. Even though Watson's questionable also, I think the Browns are going to win this at home. Okay? But we will just have to see. Then we go to the reason that I call this pathetic picks. Because the pathetic Panthers are 1-11 going against the Saints. This is my upset special. They're going into New Orleans, a city that is fetid, that is not my favorite place in the world. It's fun for a night, maybe. They have a fabulous hotel, though, called La Pavillon, though. I've got to say that it's a great hotel there. So if you're going to New Orleans and you can stay at La Pavillon, outstanding. Very safe, very cool hotel. I don't think the Panthers are staying there, though. They're probably staying at the Best Western down by the lake. But anyway, the 1-11 Panthers are going to upset the Saints. This is my upset special of the week. Call your bookie. Trust me on that one. Texans going against the Jets. 7-5 Texans up in New York. The New York football Jets, terrible. They're going to lose. Texans are going to win that one. Then we go to another game of mediocrity, which is the Minnesota Vikings against the Las Vegas Raiders at 5-7. Okay? Now, Brian, I know you're a Vikings fan, and I appreciate that. And I know you're very, very busy, and you need to know where the pick is. So I'm going to tell you, take the Raiders. They're at home. Okay, so the Raiders are going to win that one, and they're going to end up, so the Vikings are going to end up 6-7, and guess what? The Raiders are going to be 6-7. The tale of two mediocre teams. There we go. Seahawks 49ers. 49ers coming off a huge, huge, huge win over the Eagles that I predicted, by the way, here at Freddie Bz Pathetic Picks last week. So they're riding high, and they're at home in that feculent city we call San Francisco, the most expensive real estate outside of Washington, D.C., and they need to take a fire hose to the place so they can clean off the streets. They did when the Chinese dictator came, but they need to do it once a week. Anyway, I'm going to give the 49ers the win over the Seahawks on that, and then we're going to go to a couple of the average Buffalo Bills who are not having a great year. They are 6-6 against the Kansas City Chiefs at 8-4. Chiefs came off a loss, I think, last week. Am I right? Let me check. What did Chiefs do? Let's see, Freddie Bz. Yeah, Packers beat them. So they're not going to be happy about that, and they're going to take it out on the Buffalo Bills, and the Chiefs are going to win that game. And then we're going to get down to Los Angeles again, where the Chargers are. Against the 6-6 Broncos. The Broncos, a great resurrection of a season. They may not make the playoffs, but from where they started to where they are now, 6-6, I'd say they are a team on the ascension against the Chargers at 5-7. I think the Broncos go in to Los Angeles and beat the Chargers there. Then we go to the 10-2. 10-2 Eagles against your Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott. America's team, the Cowboys. This is the game of the day. Okay? This is at 8:20 at night. I'm going to stay up for this game. Eagles against the Cowboys. They are playing at AT&T Stadium. They're playing in Dallas. This is going to be a raucous event. The Eagles coming off a loss. They're not going to be happy, and they're going to be doubly not happy when Dak Prescott and the Cowboys take it to them, and the Cowboys win that game in Dallas and bring their record back up. So that's what I'm saying about the Cowboys. That's all I got to say about that. They'll be 10-3 after this game. Then we go to a doubleheader on Monday night. Okay, you got a complete snooze fest with the Packers playing the Giants. You got to take the Packers just because. Well, first of all, they're 6-6, so they're mediocre. The Giants are 4-8. They suck. The Packers come off a big win last week, beating the Kansas City Chiefs. and I think they've got some momentum. And I think the Packers are going to go into New Jersey and take the Giants. And then finally, the game of the week. The greatest game. The game with the greatest team that you have ever seen. They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're certainly the fastest team in the NFL. And I am proud to wear the jersey of former linebacker Nick Bonaconte. Back when the Miami Dolphins were the greatest football team in the history of the NFL. Only undefeated team. And they're going to play the Titans, and the Dolphins are playing at home amongst the sandy shores of Miami in Fort Lauderdale at that beautiful stadium that Joe Robbie built by his own hand with his own money. Didn't take a taxpayer money at all. And the Dolphins are at 9-3, are going to hand it, unfortunately, to former Dolphin Ryan Tannehill's Titans. I don't see the Titans up for this game. That's an 8:15 game. I think the Packers game is... They're both at 8:15. You can watch... they're both on ESPN and ABC. I know I'm going to watch the Dolphins game on Monday night, so I'm going to have to take a nap Monday afternoon so I can watch that. But that is what we got for Week 14 for our NFL Pathetic Picks. Remember, no Redskins, they're off. No Cardinals, they're off. Combined record 7-19. Might as well take the rest of the season off, but they won't. I was 6-7 last week, which was terrible. Hopefully it will be a little bit better this week. And I got a little bit of a cold. I want to say Happy Hanukkah to all my friends who celebrate Hanukkah, because it starts on the 7th. And it's a great part of the holiday season. And in the over-under Israel versus Hamas, I'm still taking Israel. So, anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Once again, Freddie Bz Pathetic Picks. Look forward to seeing you soon. Ta-ta for now.